to share how I built a mentor university based on 531 coaching calls with 4 of the best entrepreneurs in the world in Jesse Itzler, Dan Martell, Andy Frisella, and Ed Mylett. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the end and show you what I built. Then I'll dive into the why and the how. And I did all of this using Claude Code, Fable 5, Opus 4.8, and then Sonnet 5 because I burned all my juice using Fable 5, so I had to degrade to some of the other ones, but it still worked out okay for me. And to do all of this, here's the baseline of all that got created. So I have 531 notes from every single coaching call I was on with each of these mentors over the last 8 years. And what I did is use Claude Code to distill this into 2,315 individual lessons or teachings. And this turned this into 112 individual courses and 22 schools. So essentially what this did is it synthesized all of this data into mindset, marketing, leadership, systems, lifestyle design, communication, and so on. So what these world-class entrepreneurs taught me that I wrote the notes down to, it said, hey, here's the high-level categories of everything that's inside of this. So we can click here. Let's click grit. And what I did is had it start by putting in just the calls themselves individually. So I can see this one here is from Andy Frisella. I click on this and it's about becoming unshakably confident. So I'm a part of Andy Frisella and Ed Mylett's Arte Syndicate. I've been a founding member for the last 7+ years. And for me, foundationally, I've written down every conversation, coaching call, video, podcast, book notes of my life for the last 16 years. And the reason for this is because 16 years ago, when I left my corporate job to become a full-time entrepreneur, I had no growth mindset and no self-awareness. And I kept hearing the same thing. The average CEO reads 60 books a year. And guess how many I was learning? 0. Had never read a book for my life to learn and get better. But slowly but surely, I started to read Fast Company and Inc. magazine when magazines were a thing. And then that led me to joining coaching programs because I wanted to audit the success habits of the best people in the world. And it just so happens, several years later, I started to listen to Andy Frisella's MFCEO podcast. And on that, he mentioned once, hey, me and my friend Ed Mylett have this new program coming out called the Arte Syndicate. Here's the landing page. Join if you want. And from there, I've been on weekly calls for 7 years in a row, led by the best entrepreneurs in the entire world. As an entrepreneur myself, I think it would really help accelerate my personal growth and development and business growth from learning from the best. So that's exactly what I did. And then I took notes of every single call. So you can see here, becoming unshakably confident. And the reason that I wrote these notes down is because Ed Mylett said something that I never forgot, and it's fundamental to my coaching. Implement at the speed of instruction. I do not want to have to tell you something more than once because this is our standard of excellence. Cool, I got this, but I can't rely on myself to remember this because I was not this person 8 years ago that you're seeing today. So you'll see here as I'm a master of language, I hear everything because this all matters for me. So these are my raw notes that I had Claude Code import into this, so that I can see this. And I even then got it to distill this to the next layer, what this call taught: care, character, attention, resources, extremism, value exchange, make price not an objection, make a friend, make a sale, confidence, auto balance. So like you can just see, I've got all of these lessons inside of this. So I can dive into any one of these, and this is great, but this already lives inside my Evernote, so this isn't the end result. So what it ended up doing was saying, all right, well, within the high level category of grit, we've got becoming unshakably confident. won't stop mentality, confidence earned through reps. So this is one that was heavily on Jesse Itzler. So I can just dive in here and say, all right, here are the 11 lessons, and these are all from Jesse about putting yourself in an exceptional positions to live an exceptional life. And these are the individual micro nuggets from each of these calls. So over the course of this, I have done, 270 calls with Andy Frisella and Ed Mylett, 75 with Dan Martell, and 171 with Jesse Itzler. We're talking as deep as it gets, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only human on earth who has watched every single one of the coaching calls from all 4 mentors and taken world-class notes from every single one of them. And I did that for myself to learn. But now here comes the AI era, and it's like, hey, by the way, you can do anything that you want. And I'm just sitting here with these resources, which I actively review. And I'm like, let's turn this bad boy into Mentor University. Yes, it's valuable for me, but it's even more valuable if you can train your AI agents on this. Because here was the light bulb moment for me in building this Mentor University. And you can see here, hey, here's all the things. If you want to be exceptional, you have to do exceptional things. Very on brand right there, right? Catch the bug of laser focus. I want to beat everybody else in this site. So you can see where I come from this mentality because I learn from the best and I implement from the best. But what I was seeing in all of this, and AI agents are new for everybody, but we know this to be true about AI. AI works best on context, right? So whatever you feed it, gold in, gold out, garbage in, garbage out. And I've always known I'm sitting here on 531 pages of notes from legitimately the best, most prolific elite entrepreneurs in the history of the world. Right? They are ones of ones. It's why I am a sponge for all of this. And I always just sat there and I was like, well, imagine if my agentic AI team used these as the fundamentals that I'm training it and building it on. No different than if I was going to be coaching my actual human team on these things, right? You're going to give them the data. You're going to give them the lessons. And I'm still working on synthesizing all of this that's in here. But that was the high level concept of all of this. And once I get my Fable 5 tokens back, tomorrow morning, I'm going to take this to the next level here. But this was the high level of the Mentor University inside of this here. And we can even click the speaking side of things. And what I've loved about this is, in building this out using Claude Code, the way I was able to actually do this is by first building out my own website using Claude Code. So I was on WordPress for more than a decade, and once Opus 4.6, I think it was 6 came out, everything changed, and it could build a website overnight for you. And immediately I was like, goodbye WordPress, despite having tons of SEO juice and thousands of organic visitors to my website. I was like, I see where everything is going because it's too hard to update WordPress. There's so many plugins and everything. So I taught myself how to build a website using Claude Code, and that built it out in HTML. Well, once I understood and learned how to do that skill, that's completely what allowed me to build out this Mentor University. So all along the way, what I ended up doing was it would build one thing. So it first started with the courses, just like this. And then you can see the way that it was tagging all of this. And I said, all right, I want this to be better. So let's take mindset, where I have 282 teachings and 12 courses. It leans Ed Mylett, but you can see there's 113 instances of Ed Mylett teaching something, 61 from Andy Frisella, 34 from Jesse Itzler, 7 from Dan Martell. So I'm like, hey, let's just click the Andy Frisella ones. Boom. I can see just the calls Andy was on, or just the Jesse Itzler ones. Here we go. But then it also started to build this out a different way for me in terms of the way that we are tagging this. And this was, let's see the ones just about belief mindset, 121 of them. Little nugget for everybody right here. If there are 121 entries over 7 years from Dan Martell, Jesse Itzler, Ed Mylett, and Andy Frisella about building belief in your mindset, what do you think is likely one of the number one keys to success in business and entrepreneurship? Belief. And as Tim Grover says in his book, Relentless, everything's labeled number one because everything is most important. But certainly your own belief. And for me, I've got the word believe tattooed on my forearm because I'm like, wait a second, dude, keep believing in your dreams and goals. You can do anything you set your mind to. And then here comes AI and it's like, yo, dog, hold my beer. What do you want to build? Let's shatter the belief ceiling of what's possible. So we got this belief mindset, but then we can say, all right, let's get tactical about this, right? So you can just jump into one of these things right here. So here's a call with Chad Wright, who was on Jesse Itzler's Big Ass Calendar Club. And what we see here is leadership is the ability to make logical decisions, motivation and discipline, right? You could read any one of these things right now and it is straight gold. When you are mission focused and passionate about your mission and doing what you want to do, you just want to do it. You just do it, right? That's what I'm doing right now. I embody the teachings. And one of the things I often say all the time about AI, it is the ultimate show me your receipts era, right? There's a lot of people who talk. There's a lot of noise. Oh my God, look at all these things that I'm doing. I just built $1 billion company in 2 seconds with my eyes closed by vibe coding. Cool, got it. Let me see what you've done. Well, guess what? I don't have a tech background. I don't have a coding background. I don't have an AI background. 16 years ago, I had none of these skills, and I'm still figuring all of this stuff out. But the thing that I do have is being all in and having a growth mindset and being a student of the game. And this is the thing that separates the best in the world from everybody else. We all have the opportunity to learn and grow and get better. What are you willing to do that other people are not? And then with that mindset, how are you going to take that to how you are creating with AI? So I wanted to share this Mentor University because I've had a lot of conversations. Shout out to my friend, Suzanne Taylor King, who also has big libraries of knowledge and notes and wisdom that she has learned along the way. And it's a, hey, wow, I've got all of this good information right now. What do I do with it? Well, the answer is, how about you take that information, so you've captured it, then you organize it, then you distill it, and then you execute upon all of this. So I wanted to show you a little glimpse of what I'm building in real time, how I'm doing this with Fable 5, how I'm doing this inside of Claude Code. And if this is something that you vibe with and you're someone who lives in the world of growth mindset and knowledge work, one of the things that I do is I run a program called the Undeniable Studio, because AI is the biggest opportunity of our life. And I created a group program where we can capitalize on it. So if you're interested, go to robcressy.com/undeniable. Every Tuesday, we've got a live call where we're co-creating with AI. I give access to all my resources and tools. We've got Q&A for those who want to actively build with AI. You don't need to have a tech background. You don't need to be a coder. You don't need to have anything other than a growth mindset and say, I want to be in the best in the world. I want my dreams and goals and visions to come true. That's what the Undeniable Studio is. Go to robcressy.com/undeniable. I'm going to be sharing more about Mentor University, this journey, once I bring in agentic AI into this and what this looks like. And I would love to hear from you. What is that thing you are building right now where you look at yourself and you're like, wow, I'm impressed that I did this? For me, this has been about an 8-year burn of slowly building this and slowly building this, right? And this goes to that long-term mindset. And this is something that in this current AI social media era that we live in right now, everybody wants that quick fix. Oh my God, look at how I'm just building all of these things and making all of this money. It's great. but I do know those who have long-term vision are the ones who win. And I'll end with a quote that I learned from Ed Mylett that changed my life. And he said, "The bigger the dreams, the deeper the foundation." Say hello to the receipts of my foundation, Mentor University, 2,315 teachings, 1,500 lessons, 112 courses, and 22 schools. This is my blueprint for how I am winning and becoming undeniable in the AI era. I would love to hear yours. Hit me up on all social media platforms at Rob Cressy. Sending tons of love and good vibes your way. Here's to having an amazing rest of the day.